So I'm going to take this in a slightly different direction now. We've sort of painted a little bit of a picture. I love when we get guests like you on, lived lives so full of experience, full of happiness, full of challenges, and full of success. I like asking big sort of overarching questions about their learned wisdom, because it's always incredible what you get back. So if you're open to it, I'd ask some bigger questions.
Yeah.
So what have you found are the key ingredients of success? You've achieved great success. What
Honesty.
do you think?
That's all it is.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Never go back. You did a gig the other night and you made a mistake.
Move on.
Move on. You don't go back and say, oh, let's rehearse that bit and never make that mistake again. You know in your head what you did. Don't go back and try and rehearse it and make it better. Just move forward. And then that makes you believe in yourself. If you never go back, you're always moving forward. And if you go back, that means you've taken a stumble in your belief of yourself moving forward. And that's what's always been really important. Never write anything down. Then nobody
Shit.
Here's the best one. Here's the best one. Never go on a program that you can be voted off.
Yeah.
This is really, if you want to be a successful, entertainer, celebrity of any sort, you have to have your absolute self-worth worked out at the very beginning of your life. And if you are worth a lot, your self-worth is worth a lot, you will not allow anyone who's not a professional to vote how good you are or not.
Yeah.
This is cheap TV. We've been asked to go on it. We said, we'll kill the. We'll kill. You want us to go on the women's team or the men's team?
The first, what is that? Survivor. They did, and then our comeback was, look, in the first week we probably would have killed one of the blokes, and on the second week we might have killed one of the girls because she'll be worrying about her makeup. And we said, you do not want to have the Top Twins on your show because we are too real. We're too real. And I think what happens is that I've seen some of those programs. We don't watch them, but I was flicking through the other day, looking for the highlights for the Rugby World Cup. And there was a little moment on Celebrity Treasure Island, a little ad for it. And there was a bloke crying, and then later on there was a woman crying. And I go, what's good about that? You've made that person feel really ugly and
worthless,
unsupported and everything in order to have entertainment on a TV program. Let's change it. Treasure Island. Let's make it Treasure Island. There's 12 people. There's 12 chests buried on the island that have all got $1 million in them.
There you go.
Let's make it real.
Someone's
make it happy.
making pina coladas in the corner. Let's get real. Let's have it so it's fun.
Yeah.
It's a terrible idea.
You're killing Shay right now because his two favourite things are writing things down and Celebrity Treasure Island.
Okay. Because they've sucked you in. They've sucked you into the drama.
It seems like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Getting a dose of reality
and
on
you
this
know what?
episode.
I never remember who wins those things. I only ever remember who was the first one voted off because they were the least favourite person. But they might be a beautiful person. The very first time they had Big Brother, it was an experiment in Switzerland, I think it was. And the first guy that was ever voted off that program went home and killed himself. And they said, let's make more of those. It's an amazing idea. That would have been a big telltale sign for me to say, let's not make any more of those.
This is
it's
look,
we have to put people down in order to make for a show.
And they say it's entertainment. But in this day and age, young kids are watching those programs and they go, well, it seems it's okay that somebody can tell me I'm no good. We don't want to give that message out to young people. We want to say to them, you're amazing. You're amazing. You can do anything. There needs to be way more positivity, when you're dealing with young people.
And that's
nowadays.
just, well, I just think that we absolutely won't and never will and said absolutely no to that. We've been asked to go on to those programs and we said we will never go on to a show where you are voted off because you lose your self-worth.
That is an incredibly in-depth answer. I mean, but the honesty, the authenticity thing of success, I totally agree with it. And it's why you have achieved the levels you have. My next question was about happiness, and it might have the same answer. Like, what have you found makes you happy? What are the keys
You need
to your
to do
happiness?
the things that make you smile, things that make you feel good inside. And for me, fly fishing. That's my thing. I go out into the wild. I can be out there on my own. I'm in the river. I'm waiting for that, beautiful trout to come by. And I have a policy of catch and release. So the fish that I catch are sustainable, so that the good breeding stock is there for the next generation. And I think everybody who has something that if you ask anybody, they'll say, "Oh, I love this. I love doing this."
They have a passion.
Yeah.
Absolute passion. My passion is horse riding. I just adore it. And if you don't have a passion in your life, you actually can't find your happiness, because you're maybe trying to make everybody else happy. But if you aren't happy in your own self, if you haven't found the thing that makes your heart happy, that makes you glow about something, then basically you don't understand how it feels for other people to be happy. So I think to find your passion is absolutely most important. It's more than what do I want to do for a living? What do I want to achieve in my life? But what is my passion? If you find that first, you can go anywhere. If I get a chance, like today, the last few days has been hectic, full on, writing, talking about writing the book and radio interviews and podcasts and TV and everything. And I know that we can get through that because we both have a passion. And that passion is what keeps you strong. My passion is the horse, and Linda's passion is the fish.
Yeah.
And so you have to have something. You have to have something within your heart that makes you feel passionate, and that brings you joy and allow you to give other people happiness.
I love it. My next question is about health, and feel free to give this as much or as little detail as you want, but it's sort of well documented, your personal journeys with cancer. I was wondering if you could tell us what your cancer battles have changed about your perspective on life.
Okay, the first thing that we have done for our cancer, a journey, is that we never call it a battle, because then
we want to change the way people talk about cancer.
And it means you're at war with your own self. If you Google battle, it's about fighting. It's about two things coming together to have a go at each other. And so we never think of it as a battle. We think we are living our life as best we can with our health issues. And so that is really important to us, that it's not a battle. We don't want to fight with ourselves about being a bit crook. I'm only a couple of years into my breast cancer. I got neuropathy from the chemo. And it's a thing called peripheral neuropathy, which is all your nerve endings in either your feet or your hands or both are damaged by the chemo. And so my feet are numb, and they're every now and then, probably 8 to 10 hours of the day, it feels like I'm standing on, 100 needles. So it's constant pain, and dealing with that. And, and I've had moments where I have fallen because of my neuropathy, and then I knock myself out, because I don't put my hands out because there's no message to say that I'm falling and everything like that. But that was a terrible thing. I ended up in hospital because I got concussion and everything. But there was a joyous moment right in that where my beautiful little hunting dog, my Labrador, Dream, she came and found me, and she licked my face to wake me up. And then she went around behind me and put her nose and her head underneath my neck and supported me until my wife found me. Wow. And I was thinking, there is joy even when I have fallen over, because when you're living with a health issue every day, it's exhausting. It's exhausting.
Yeah, it is pretty exhausting. Quite weird. And for a long time there, it was a bit scary to try and think that we were maybe pushing to come back and do some gigs, because when you're feeling unwell, you feel a bit vulnerable in some ways. And Linda's, she's just a baby cancer person, and I've lived with my cancer now for 20 years, and I'm really joyous about the fact that I'm a survivor, that I've been through this. I'm kind of staunch, and I work really hard. I work on the farm every day. I make sure I climb. There's this really huge hill on my property. I climb that hill every day so that I'm really strong and fit. And I just think that if you sit on the couch and wait to die, then you probably will. But I make myself go out and I work and work and work until I'm sweating, and I just think that's good for my body. And I play with horses and I work with horses a lot. And There's something really magic about that, and that's what keeps me. The only time that I forget I have cancer is when I'm on a horse, because I now am communicating with another sentient being that has feelings too, and that's really important to me. And so it sounds like a really big picture, and in some ways it is, because if I am not there, if I'm not in the moment with that horse, I could be killed. It's a dangerous sport. And so if I'm not with that horse and I'm not communicating with that horse in the way that I want to, it won't feel of me. I feel for it, and it feels back to me. And if I can't feel that, I know I need to do something to try and get that horse to be with me. Because people say to me, what is a horse thinking? What's he thinking most of the time? And I say to them, he's thinking that he tastes good, because he's an animal of flight. So he doesn't stop and fight. He leaves. He wants to go. He wants to flee. And so when I'm on him, I want him to think, hey, I'm a bit scared. What are we going to do? I want him to bend and look at me and say, what are we going to do? And so I've been really lucky that I've been able to train with that style of horsemanship. It's called vaquero, and it's an old Spanish way of riding. And I've studied that forever and ever and ever for about maybe nearly 35 years. And I just think that I've actually used that a lot when we've been performing, how to connect with people as if I would if I was connecting with a horse. Because sometimes your audience is a bit scared. And if you want to go out and play with an audience, the first thing they want to do is to be an animal of flight as well. So you kind of have to know how far to push and to look after something. So I think my health has been helped tremendously by understanding how another animal feels and how you can connect with that. So I think if people are listening and who are horsey people will understand that, things can go terribly pear-shaped if you don't know what you're doing with a horse.
It's such an inspirational outlook from both of you, and fascinating, and thank you for sharing that. So optimistic and uplifting, like everything you've done through your careers. Does it get frustrating? And I know that we're talking about the book, and this is in there, and I saw the Sunday program you did, which was really well done. Like the tone of it was so emotional and emotionally charged and well done. But does it frustrate you always having to talk about the health side of things?
No, not really, because as our mum said, tell the truth faster, it'll get you out of trouble quicker. It's that line. We've always remembered that from our young days. Yeah. And I think if somebody asks you a question, we just answer it. Yeah. That's easy. What is frustrating is having to deal with we both got cancer. We're both still going through treatment. And those treatments, are mostly from drug companies. They're the only thing that they offer you. There's only chemo or radiation or drugs that are offered for cancer. And in the sense of the health, thing, there are other things out there that are people, doing plant-based drugs. There are people who are using, cannabis oil and all that kind of stuff. Or cannabis-based
whatever's
plants.
Right for you.
Yeah.
If you think it's right for you, just do it. It's really important that you understand that it's...
The side effects of having cancer is what we're dealing with quite a lot, So I'm dealing with neuropathy, which has which was caused by the treatment that was trying to fix my cancer.
We've both never been sick with cancer, which is really strange. We've only ever been sick from chemo. Yeah. I get a bit sick now. I have to have 2 injections every 4 weeks in my butt, one on each side. I never look forward to it. I always think to myself, I must have done something terrible in a past life to have this happen now. But what it does is it finds my estrogen, which my cancer feeds on, and it appealed to my farming sensibilities, which says if you don't let something eat for a long time, it will eventually die, or if you don't feed it, it will eventually die. And that's what it's doing. It's a new kind of thing that they've come away from chemo. And so I'm trialling that. I have 2 injections every 4 weeks and a tablet that helps the stuff that's in the injection, find my estrogen, right? And I think someone was really smart to find that. But I also think they're a real dumbass coming up with how it's administered. A pill would have been good.
I'll just say you're looking great, looking and sounding great. Like I feel so honoured that you're able to come and talk to
Yeah.
us, because there's so
And
much
I really
going on.
wanted to thank the Italians because they made the softest saddle, which means I can ride my horse.
There you go.
I can ride my horse because I have a really soft saddle.
Hate to
now.
break it, we don't have a huge Italian audience.
Yeah.
But, I'm sure we'll get there
Most
soon.
women that I know are usually looking for or talking about the Italian stallion.
Mm.
But Jules, she's talking about an Italian saddle. So I think that might be a lesbian thing, Jules.